Oh, yeah. Freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future, yeah. And I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
It's not just a thought process, but a way of life.
49er minded. 49er minded. I can't shake it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A red and gold session about our red and gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions, let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how it's been in the spot. Let's roll that back, all that crack, all that straight fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the story on, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind. 49er minded.
It's not just a thought process,
49er minded,
but a way of life. Bashar.
49er minded.
Way of life.
49er minded.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. Got a very special guest who's been on the show before, but it's always good to have him on again. And I'm going to bring him on very shortly because this is 49er Minded, and you know how we do it here. And I'm very excited because the OTAs are starting. Let me just move this off the screen really quick. Very excited because OTAs are here. And just a reminder,
it's not just a thought process, but a way of life.
Just adding new things to the soundboard as I go on the show. But let me bring on Dion. What up, Dion? How you doing with Niner Gang Podcast? Let me make you a little smaller. What's up, bro? How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, man? I like that, man. That's dope. You got to hit him with that every now and then. That's dope, man. You got the soundboard
that's the original voice recording that I use.
Oh, that's the only way to go, bro. Is, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be here hanging out with you. You know, I always tell people I met Bashar a couple years ago at the preseason game for Kansas City Chiefs. Really good dude, man. So we definitely got to get after it today. You know, we got a lot to cover because there's a lot going on in 49er land, man. And, you know, people seem to be losing their minds on Twitter, but that's another story.
It's like when I do these shows, I almost try to forget about Twitter, but every now and then some craziness that I saw on Twitter will trigger me and make me go on a little rant and whatever. And I've been guilty of doing that a few times, you know.
Oh, it's fun, man. It's fun. Like some people, they have to stop themselves from the chaos of it, but I love the chaos of it. It just makes me laugh, man, because you got people out there that are staunch supporters of you know, Trey Lance, staunch supporters of Brock Purdy. You got people that swear up and down that Sam Darnold's going to come out here and beat both of them out and take over a spot and all this other stuff. So it's fun to watch and listen. Definitely is.
It can be fun. Sometimes it's not so fun. At the end of the day, we just have to laugh at it because there's a lot of funny stuff going on there. Really quick, before we get into the Niner talk, I just want to talk about a couple other things. Most important thing I want to talk about, just because music's obviously something I was born to love for whatever reason. It was the first thing I fell in love with, other than cartoons, you know. But if I wasn't watching cartoons, I was finding out whatever cool songs that were on TV or on the radio, and you know, 80s music was a big part of my life. It was, you know, I listened anything that was a top 40 hit in the 80s sounded good to me. Out of any era that I lived in, that was like the one era that I thought like where every song sounded good to me damn near. And you know, all the one hit wonders that came out. And the lady that was speaking
there were so many.
there was. But and then there was just plenty of great albums, the great music by amazing, great artists. And Tina Turner obviously was one of them. And you know, we all remember her. What's Love Got to Do with It? That video. She's saying we don't need another hero on the Thunderdome soundtrack for Mad Max or whatever. And an amazing artist, and you know, rest in peace. Moment of silence for her, really quick, because we lost a great one. So yeah, just our respects for Tina Turner. And if you have anything to shine a light on, go ahead.
Yeah, man. I saw that, and Tina Turner was definitely very big in my household. Oddly enough, because of one of my older sisters. She loved Tina, man. She used to wear her hair out all wild and shit, and she would sing the songs and whatnot. But yeah, man, losing Tina is definitely a hard thing, man. She was a blessing for so many people. I think when she was in her 60s, they said this woman had the best legs on the planet. And as you get older, your legs don't get better.
I got you.
I can tell you right now, man, Tina put on a pair of pumps, boy. You looking from the waist down, you like, good Lord. You didn't know. But
certain people have genetics and some other people don't, and some people work at it, and some people just age better than others. And
it worked, man. It worked. But I will say that, yeah, my heart was hurting this morning when I found out that she passed. And rest in peace to her. Hopefully, blessings out to her family and whatnot. That's a hard go when you lose. For them, they lost their mom. That's who they lost. We lost an icon. We lost, someone in music, but they lost their mother. And my heart goes out to you because I still have my mom. And I can tell you right now, I never wanted to leave. I know she will eventually, but I couldn't tell you necessarily how I would feel.
I never knew about her family life as far as children or anything like that. I didn't know.
Oh, bro, she's got plenty. She's got, I don't remember how many kids she had, but she got several children. Yeah, she got several children, and then plus Ike's children that he had before he met her.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, during.
I didn't want to mention the guy's name.
Yeah. I mean,
I was going to say really quick.
He had kids. Yeah. He had kids, and she considered them her children.
And I was going to say, and as a kid growing up, I had no idea who she was prior to that. What's Love got to do with the song? Because I'm assuming she took a big hiatus from music at one point and straightened things out in her life. Tina, she was a big star way before that, though.
Tina was, because her and Ike were they had hits. The one thing, I know a lot of people watched the movie. They saw the depiction of Ike Turner and whatnot. The one thing is, and I'll say this, it's super weird because he was a great musician. He was great at making hits, but he had to have someone to be able to sing them properly the way he wanted, to be able to push that out to the world. And when he, got in touch with Anime Bullet, that was it. She was the one. He heard that voice and he never turned back, and they had a nice little run, I believe, in the mid 60s to early 70s. And then, Tina came in, I think, in the mid 70s to early 80s with her music and doing all the things she was doing. And believe me, man, Tina was definitely an icon, man. Definitely an icon. She will be missed.
Definitely, without a doubt. That's why I always make sure, just so before we get started with the Niner Talk, if anything serious happens in the world, if we lose somebody special or something, I always, I don't mind going off topic and bringing those things up. What up, David McNider? See you here, bro. This is what's cracking, Bashar and Dion.
Yeah, what's going on, Brian?
Check out David McNider. I believe he's got a YouTube channel as well, so subscribe to it. Brian Cope, he's got a YouTube channel. Check him out. He says, hey, Bashar, what's up, Dion? Good to have you guys in. Really quick, before we get to the Niner Talk, I wanted to just get your thoughts on what's going on with the NBA really quick. You can make it short and sweet.
Man. Sorry to the Laker fans out there, man. That's a heartbreaker to get swept like that. Jokic was out there balling. Denver basically switched it up, man. And Miami, Jimmy Buckets, baby. That's all I got to say is Jimmy Buckets. I'm telling you right now, if he goes to the finals, hey, man, Denver, good luck trying to figure that dude out, man. Jimmy Buckets, when he fully healthy like he is, that man is on fire. So
I never thought of this before because at one point I didn't really think much of him as a coach, primarily because he had a damn super team. But Spoelstra, man, that guy, year in and year out, the Heat are just like, hey, you may think we're not doing anything in the playoffs this year, but hey, we're here doing something in the playoffs and we're relevant,
Yeah, because the thing is the number one reason Dwayne Wade went to the Heat when he had the opportunity to be a free agent is because he came to Chicago. And I'm a Bulls fan, and I know this for a fact. He went to Chicago. But you know what turned him off about the Bulls? There weren't any former Bulls in the building. And that's what he did not like. He was like, where's the loyalty? Instead of Jordan being an owner of the Wizards, why is he not a part majority owner of the Chicago Bulls? Where's Scotty? Where's Dennis? Where's Horace Grant? Where's John Paxson? Where's Steve Kerr? All these people, like that was his idea. Like, hey, I like the camaraderie, the longevity, and the cohesiveness of the team, and that's why he stayed in Miami, because you got Zoe there, you have Pat Riley there. Like these people stayed, and Pat Riley is one of those coaches where he was around his team for God knows how long, man. Like he was with the Lakers forever. So you know that he's about longevity. So he's not just going to fire a coach and just go on and move on from him or something like that. But that's basically, what it was for me with the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
With all the glory that the Bulls have had, do you think they would have, a bit more representative of their, alumni?
You would think they've been a lot smarter, but not really. And I'm gonna need Boston to go on. Breezy, I love you. I really do, man. You are my brother.
Hey, hang on. I got something. Since you dropped his name, we always got to do this for the guy. Whenever I see him, hang on just a second.
Breezy this, breezy that.
Hey, shout out to Breezy.
Hey,
I know my team.
Blooded. I got the Niners on my back. Breezy this, breezy that. Ain't nobody working like Breezy, and that's a fact. Shout out to Breezy, man. Shout out to that song. Shout out to Lake City Fresh for hooking him up with that joint, man. That actually go hard. But yeah, man, I don't know, bro. You won that one game, so you didn't get swept, so it makes you feel better. But I don't think that. I think that's pretty much it. I
think this is Denver's year, man. But Miami's looking tough, though. Miami's looking tough.
Yes, it is. Don't get me wrong. A Heat Nuggets final wouldn't be necessarily the most entertaining because, to be honest with you, who the fuck watches Denver?
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't even know that Denver was in the playoffs until the playoffs started. I watch basketball, but sparingly. I don't watch it like I watch football because football is my favorite sport. So for me, when I saw that Denver was in the playoffs and they were the number one seed, I'm like, damn, I didn't know Denver was balling like that. But just goes to show, man, anybody can make it. So this might be Denver's year. You never know.
Yes, sir. Well, hopefully this is our year, as in the San Francisco 49ers year.
Yes.
Things got kicked off with the OTAs, and we're already getting started with all this quarterback talk. The quarterback talk never ends for the San Francisco 49ers. And, the word on the street about Trey Lance and having a new release, new mechanics, working with Christensen, working with Mahomes. A lot of it was people thought it was hearsay. They say, the quarterback coach Christensen's just pumping up his own quarterback school to say Lance is doing good. But, I was saying, well, early in phase one, Kyle Shanahan resonated the same sentiment. So there must be some weight to it. But you saw Lance throwing around. In terms of what you're hearing about Lance, what do you think about what's going on with his progression?
Me personally, man, it's a smart thing. It's surrounding yourself with greatness so you can be great. It's like if you broke, do you want to just keep hanging around with broke people? Probably not. You want to try to find somebody who has money. You know what I'm saying? And you figure out how they got that money. And then you do make sure they take you around their friends that got money. So you can pick their brain on how they did that. You want to be around positive forward progression. And when you go and you hang out with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and start working on your mechanics and working on your throwing, and you see his throwing motion is way shorter. You see his mechanics are a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Terradome was talking about that this morning on Breezy's show. Where
shout out to Terradome.
Yeah, shout out to Terradome. You see his knee was bent properly. Like there's just so many things this dude is improving on. And to be honest with you, I feel bad for him because I feel like it's all for naught.
Bro, I was thinking to myself, I saw you talking about it, and the whole thing with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, the leader of the clubhouse. It sounds like a little kid's thing, He's the leader of the clubhouse, the leader. And I'm not trying to discredit Brock Purdy for any good that he did, But my only thing is it's like he did get hurt, a serious elbow injury. Like, why not pump the brakes and see what you have in him coming back from that injury, and then see what we have in a possible improved Lance, and see what he could bring to the table, and then kind of make a decision on who you have and who you're going to keep or who's going to be the guy. Like they're just elevating Brock, like right off the bat, coming off this crazy injury, and like you said, like I almost feel like if I was in Lance's shoes, that they really are going to be like, oh yeah, Brock's going to be the week 1 starter, like. Well, just fucking trade me then. I put in all this fucking work. See, here I go with the F-bombs. I think I'm not going to cuss, and here they go. Here they come out. You know, got the best quarterback in the league working with me and admiring me as a friend and admiring my work ethic and admiring what I do. And he has his coach working with me, and I'm changing everything. I'm looking to improve. But it's, whoa, who cares? Because the leader of the clubhouse is going to be playing off of this injury, even though we don't know if he's really going to be the same guy or not. We don't know how, but, I'm just chopped liver at the end of the day. So just fucking trade me. Then that's how I feel like if I was him.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. I said it before. If I'm Trey Lance and you sit me on a bench behind Brock Purdy, yeah, you got what is it, week 6, week 8, something around there? You got time. You can find a suitable trade partner for me. I have no business sitting here. Your trade picks your picks that you traded away from me pretty much are already done now. So next year you'll have a first round pick again. There's just things that go on. And for me, I'm like, I wouldn't want to be sitting on the bench behind somebody I know I'm better than. Like, you got to think about it. And for the Sam Darnold supporters, I'm everywhere saying the same exact thing. USC quarterbacks are trash. Y'all don't believe me. Show me a USC quarterback that won a Super Bowl. Oh, newsflash. There isn't one.
I was going to say Carson Palmer's pretty good. I know he didn't win the Super Bowl, but I think he's the one guy.
But, like, when I tell people about USC quarterbacks, the most recent people that you can think of is Carson Palmer, Mark Sanchez, and currently Sam Darnold. You don't want to put Matt Leinart in there. That motherfucker did nothing. He didn't do anything.
He was fool's gold. I thought he was going to be something too.
Yeah, he went there and did nothing. And Carson Palmer, consistent, very good in Cincinnati. Never won a playoff game. Couldn't get over the hump. I think he might have won 1, maybe 2, if that. I don't even think he got that far. And then when he came back and he got off the couch, he looked all right, but there was nothing else there. So you look at it, and to be honest with you, out of all 3 of those dudes, out of Sanchez, Darnold, and Carson Palmer, the most relevant cat is Mr. Butt Fumble himself. You know why? He went to 2 AFC championship games, back to back. Hey, people gave Jimmy all that credit for these playoff wins. So why not give Mark Sanchez his credit, even though he had a little run. He had a little run. Even though he did the same shit Jimmy did. He ain't do much of nothing for them playoff wins. That was the Jets defense getting them out.
Just like Jimmy had a badass defense, and the team was just stacked, and it was just everything fit at that point in time.
All facts. So if if somebody tells me who's the most relevant USC quarterback, and I mentioned Mark Sanchez, and they laugh, I'm gonna look at him and go, okay, well, what have the other USC quarterbacks done? He at least has that on his resume. At a bare minimum, he can say, I done been to at least the AFC championship game. Y'all ain't even sniffed the shit. Sam Darnold has not been very good since he's come out, period. But magically, y'all think that Kyle Shanahan's system is just automatically supposed to upgrade him and make them this starter. And Jordan Palmer, great QB coach, not a great QB, but he's a great QB coach. He's really good at that. And a lot of the times that's what happens. Sometimes these guys aren't necessarily the best when it comes to playing the actual position, but coaching it, they seem to find their way into it, and it seems to make it better, which is cool. But you hyping up your boy Sam, that's cool.
He's gonna do that though, because that's his guy though.
That's
but
his guy.
But And we're running across so-called Niner fans anointing Sam Darnold as him resurrecting his career under Kyle, but yet Kyle can't mold a high draft pick like Lance. But all of a sudden he could do it for Darnold. Like how? What makes you say otherwise?
Yeah, like they technically speaking, they're almost the same person because I believe Sam was what, 6?
I think they're both 3. I think they're both top 3.
Yeah, I mean, and Darnold was number 10. I mean, like that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's frustrating to watch when you know that people are out there saying, stupid things. And when I see people anointing Sam Darnold, the starter over Trey Lance, I get confused on where they got that from and how they came to that conclusion when you've seen Sam Darnold do much of nothing. At least you've seen Lance win a game. At least you've seen Lance come in and give us a shot in the arm when we needed it, because for 49er fans out there that love to jump on, Brock Purdy and the Brock Purdy train and, act like Lance has done nothing, we wouldn't have had no playoff run in 2020 if it wasn't for him. Or should I say 2021?
Yeah, he won a must-win game with playoff.
He won that. He won. It doesn't matter. He was the quarterback. He won that Houston game. If he does not win that Houston game, we don't go to the playoffs, people. Everybody seems to forget that. Like, people forget what he's done. And people forget, what did Kyle do in the beginning of this previous season? Heavy on the run. Light on the pass. But the minute Mr. Lance tears his ankle to shreds, Jimmy comes in and we start throwing. The minute Jimmy rolls out and gets tackled the wrong way and tears his ankle to shreds, well, Brock, he gets to throw the ball too. So why can't you let Lance do that? Why not give him the exact same playbook you gave them and allow the boy to go out there and do what he's supposed to do? That's all I'm asking for. Just let him do his thing. Open the door, allow him to be able to compete. But what I'm seeing right now is a whole lot of Purdy dick riding. A whole lot of it. And it kills me because I don't understand why. I mean, yes, the guy came out, he had his win streak, all of that. That was nice. That was great. And I tell you right now, if he didn't get injured and we won and he won a Super Bowl, Disney would have paid that man a ton of money to go ahead and do a story. But the only reprieve we have with Brock is that he has been very emphatic in stating, I'm taking it one day at a time. I am not going to rush myself back for no damn body. I am working on God's time. So I give him that much. Very strong and stout in his faith. He's low-key like Tim Tebow to an extent, almost very evangelistic in his approach. So I get it, but I just feel like Lance is about to get screwed, and the minute they know that Purdy is fully healthy, they don't care. They're putting him on the field, and that's just going to be the way it is. And when and if that happens, that proves my point that Kyle don't care for black quarterbacks. I've said it before. People think that I'm saying he's racist. I never said that. I never not once said that Kyle don't like black people. I said he don't like black quarterbacks. You don't believe me? See what happened to RG3. These are all facts.
Let me see what's up to some people in the chat. I want to give my shout outs. I don't miss you guys. I see you guys right here. I'm not missing you. We got Jess from East Coast Red and Gold Podcast. She says, what's up? Check her and Beto. They have a new channel. I believe it's called Niners Now. So subscribe to them and subscribe to East Coast Red and Gold Podcast. I was on the draft show that Niners Sickness had on his channel. Beto and Jess hosted every hour of the draft, and they gave me the freedom to jump in and out whenever the Niners pick. So every time the Niners pick, I was on with them, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw any of that, but
I couldn't stream a whole draft.
It's so hard. And I say the really cheap, crappy chair. For me to sit in this chair for 4 hours would just be painful. No. And Donald Johnson's here. What's up, Donald Johnson? He says, I don't believe they will just give Purdy the starting job. I believe they will make them compete. If they make them compete, that's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for anybody handed anything when we're going back and forth talking about this. We just want to make sure we have the best guy, and every Niner fan should want this. You want to make sure you have the best guy. If we were to throw all our eggs in one basket, and then for whatever reason the Nick Foles effect took place on Purdy, and we got rid of Lance, and Lance becomes a stud, that would look really bad, and every Niner fan would be pissed off about it, no matter how much they would not want to. Certain ones wouldn't want to admit it. I know that. What up, Randy Daytona? He says Trey threw a pretty interception that game. Not sure what game you're referring
He did.
to.
Yes, he did.
Which game?
His stats in that Houston game were not
okay.
good.
Okay, Houston.
So I understand that, and I'm not saying that they were. I'm just saying the man helped us win the damn game, and if we didn't win it, we weren't going to the playoffs. So that mattered. And if Kyle didn't give him the shittiest playbook game plan that I've ever seen him come up with in my life versus Arizona, he probably would have won that game too.
Oh, the Arizona game. Oh, that Arizona play
and my thing is, I'm pissed because I was at that game.
Yeah, you live in Arizona. Yeah,
I was 3 rows up. I could see everything clearly. And when I looked and I saw Juwan Jennings not dressed, but Travis Benjamin dressed, I was like, "What are we doing?"
God. Benjamin
he's setting that man up for failure, and you know you are. So it's just there was just and basically any negative thing he does is there's a really big spotlight put on it, but people didn't seem to care. What I'm saying, when Jimmy did anything stupid, they gave him a pass.
Crack up, deal. Randy says he got better after he threw the interception. That's what matters. And to Jimmy's credit, early in his career with the Niners, he had a really great stat line after throwing interceptions, and he'd get a lot better after he got rid of that interception early in his Niner career. It didn't carry over, unfortunately, but quarterbacks have to have short memories in the NFL, and we understand that. Donald says they drafted Trey and they knew he was black when they drafted him. So well, he's also half white too. Now, come on.
Okay, Donald, you get a shout out for the most irrelevant comment of the century, bro. We knew that. Everybody knew that. You can see that boy was black. I'm just saying, I'll say this: Kyle has a dream quarterback. Bashar, before I say who this is, I want you to tell me who you think Kyle's dream quarterback is. And it's not Kirk Cousins, by the way.
I have a feeling where you're going, but go ahead.
Josh Allen.
I knew you were going to say that. I think only because you told me that once before the chat.
Look at the makeup of Josh Allen, and look at what Kyle said right before they drafted Lance. Outside of Lance being black, tell me Josh Allen doesn't fit every bit of criteria Kyle Shanahan stated before they drafted Trey Lance. He does. He has the cannon for an arm. He's great at running. He makes very, very good decisions. You know what I'm saying? So, no, Randy, believe me, the history of it, I know it. Believe me, I know it. And yes, I agree with you. I'm just saying, unfortunately, this is something that comes into play. These are things that happen. But I do know the history of it and how, believe me, I've done my research, brother. I've done it. I've dug deep. And yes, me personally, I can give 2 fucks about it. But there are instances where you do have to address it. And in this moment, you got to address. What's up, John? It's my brother right there. But
that's John V from the Locker Room Rant. Check out the Locker Room Rant. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Bro, those dudes.
Great guy, great channel.
Hey, man, if you want to laugh, bro, just watch Locker Room Rant.
Oh, the way these guys bicker at each other.
I've never seen people roast each other so damn and the thing is, remember when everybody can get it. It's not individual. Yes, it may seem like a lot of it is on Nick. But believe
poor Nick.
And believe me, Tony and John, they get it too. But for me, I look at it like this. I would love for it to be an open competition for the starting quarterback position. But I would want that competition to strictly be between Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, because those are the guys that have been here. I honestly do not feel that Sam Darnold deserves any respect to be put in that mix, because he ain't been here. And plus, he ain't done nothing to deserve that.
But they did implement that third quarterback, quote unquote, Brock Purdy rule or whatever. So for purposes, I'm 100% fine with Darnold being here.
Yeah, I mean, for that reason, yes, that's great. Be a third, be a backup. Who cares? I'm cool with that. But I don't feel that he's earned the right to be in that mix because you just got here. You're nobody, and you're nothing. You don't have an NFL resume that screams I should be a starting quarterback. You know why? Because if you did, you wouldn't be here. That's all I'm saying. So everybody thinking that Sam Darnold is going to unseat Brock Purdy or Trey Lance, what have you been watching that says that Sam Darnold is that great? I know Louis Riddick came out and backed him. That's fine, but that don't mean nothing. Like, I truthfully don't care. At the end of the day, if they have a great open competition and Brock just beats out Trey, perfectly fine.
I can live with that. I'll be free.
Yeah, I can live with that. But I honestly feel in my gut that Kyle is sold on Purdy. And you know, Kyle, he speaks in riddles 90% of the time, so you never know what the hell he's saying. And he's always making up something stupid, talking, you know, or saying something. I don't know if I'm going to
be alive on Sunday.
Exactly. Something like that. So it's like, man, look, for everybody here, we just have to wait and see. We all know we're never going to know who the hell's going to be that guy.
All right. So I'm going to share this video really quick. It's actually from an older 49er-minded show, and I have the video on my Instagram just for convenience purposes. So I'm going to play it really quick. This was in regards to the whole way Kyle ran Trey Lance thing. And I was talking about this. This video was taken before the season actually started, maybe a couple of weeks before the first game. Earlier, something about Trey. I'm not sure if you were mentioning that we're going to run a lot with Trey, because I would have to beg to differ on that one. I don't want to see Trey. Let me restart it because I want to make it full screen. There you go. You know, we're going to run a lot with Trey, because I would have to beg to differ on that one. I don't want to see Trey. I was reading how much Josh Allen runs and how many yards he piled up, and I know they're successful with it, but I just do not want to see Trey in that role where he just constantly runs and pounds, and I just feel like it's too much on it. It'll be too much on his body.
I know what you mean, Bashar, but here's the thing. Trey, he's not the most accurate guy, okay? I'm not overly concerned about his accuracy, but running the ball is just part of who he is. It's what he did at North Dakota State. It's what he did in high school. It's just part of his game. So, I mean, they're practicing the triple option. It's just going to be a wrinkle. They're not going to run the triple option all game, but it's going to be a wrinkle defenses are going to have to respect. Otherwise, you take one false step as a linebacker on the against the triple option. Well, guess what? Now we're pitching it to Debo. He's off to the races, and it's a legitimate weapon. But Trey Lance is going to run. I'm expecting at least like 500 to 600 rushing yards. You know, I know you're not a fantasy football guy, but I've been looking at all this stuff.
I did. I just wasn't. It wasn't me.
You know, these rushing quarterbacks are putting up, whether it's Hurts or Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson will rush for 1,000 yards. Like, they're running. It's just what the NFL is now, Bashar. Lance is going to run, and that's why I like the fact that we do have a good backup.
So that was taken on August 31st of last year, and you saw my concerns back then, and I you know, the worst happened. What up, Ball? You're in the chat.
Yeah, look, he said, "Hey, I'm on the screen." I got Barry.
And I was good. Yeah, man. I love collabing with Barry Ball. I had him on recently. Actually.
Yeah. I gotta get with him and do a show, man.
You have to.
Several times over, man, and he seems like a very good dude. The Niner you love to hate 5'10".
Oh, that's easy right there. What's up, Easy? Says Kyle and John have a hard on for Purdy, which is fine if Trey gets a fair shake. Yeah, exactly. And Purdy actually beats him out. Bang bang. Exactly. We want the best players out there. That's all.
And here's my thing. Like, that's all everybody has been asking for, man. It's just to give the man a fair shot. That's all we're asking. And to piggyback off of that and to segue into this, I will say this every time I do a show. I'll try not to forget it. I'm done being competitive. I don't care about being competitive. I want a fucking Super Bowl. We all do. See, I don't want Kyle to turn into Andy Reid, where you're always competitive, but you just can't get over the hump. And I'm talking about Andy Reid in Philly. You know, the average football fan will know who I'm talking about, because I definitely ain't talking about Andy Reid in Kansas
Let me ask you this. Had Andy Reid not drafted Mahomes and Did you think he would ever got into a Super Bowl? Because something tells me no.
No.
Something tells me no.
Because the situation when he was there in Philly was he was always competitive, year in and year out. You knew they were going to work. You knew they were possibly going to make the playoffs. You knew they were going to do something, but you just didn't have faith that they were going to get the job done. And my thing is, for Kyle, I don't think he should get another contract until he delivers a Super Bowl. So, Jed, if you're listening, by all means, sir, don't give that man no more damn money, and don't extend him no more. Let him bring you a Lombardi before you waste your money again. And that's my biggest thing. And a lot of people have sat there and told me, well, who would you bring in if Kyle goes? There's an offensive coordinator in Washington named Eric Bieniemy. I'm going to tell you right now, if Bieniemy was doing what he did with Mahomes, I'm 100% sure he could do the same shit with Trey Lance.
And so, what up, really quick, what up throwback? He says he doesn't put Kyle above Seifert. I never did. Yeah. I do kind of have him above Mariucci just a little bit, but at the end of the day, Kyle has to win the Super Bowl. You got. I
don't have Kyle. I'll tell you right now. You know who I don't have Kyle above? Harbaugh. Harbaugh was better. He's a better coach. It is what it is. So
what up, John Lynch? That's the real John Lynch right there, guys.
I know.
That's a good friend.
That's what it is, man. I can't give Kyle that kind of praise until he brings that 6th Lombardi. And I don't want to keep waiting on you to do things. And yes, you've had some injuries over the past couple of years that have stopped you from doing certain things. But I can tell you this, the only injury that truthfully really mattered was Brock's injury. Because you took him out of the game. You know what I'm saying? But he basically was the only quarterback there. Because Josh Johnson came in, 1-2 plays, and then got fucking.
Yeah, and Josh Johnson's been in the league for 14 years. Let's be
real.
He hasn't done anything in that.
Exactly. So I was confused on why the hell we brought him in as a backup. I was like, what are you doing?
And to my knowledge, I can't think of anybody who was out there that could have been better, but maybe by default there had to have been somebody. I just don't know what names were out there.
It had to be somebody or something. But all I'm saying is I would not give Kyle any more money. I would tell him, you've got a contract extension. In this contract, you better deliver.
I see him active in the chat as 49ers throwback. Fernando, what's up? Says Kyle needs to take advantage of the team opportunity because this team won't be the same. Yeah, we're not going to have all pros at almost every position year in and year out. And that's another thing that worries me about possibly sticking with Brock. Like he was around the loaded team that was hot, that had a hot streak at the end of the season, which helped us win games, and everything was clicking. Like if we have a team with subpar playmakers, a subpar defense, is it still going to be like that? So I mean, we don't know. We don't know. Really quick, I want to add some notes that I gathered because I wasn't at the training OTAs, and we're going to get into like notes that I gathered from. Disclaimer: if you hate Grant Cohn, if you hate Larry Krueger, I gathered notes for these guys. So hey, I wasn't there. So
I listened to both of them.
I listen to everybody. So
you got to take it for what it is.
Yeah. So but the word on Larry Krueger, who had been people were saying he was being negative Lance, or people were saying he was quote unquote hating on Lance. Some people took it a certain way, and I could see that, emotions aside. But he did say, to his credit, he said that Lance's delivery looked more smooth, more compact, more efficient. Just threw at a higher speed than last year, less wobbly balls, and he seems like a huge step in the right direction. He said to Darnold's credit, he said Darnold looked all right. He said overlooked the turnovers, and then Brandon Allen QB1 6 for 6, baby.
First of all, let me say this. Anytime Kyle says he's in love with a quarterback, or he's been watching a guy for so long, I find that quarterback to automatically be hot garbage because he loves C.J. Beathard, and he thought Nick Mullins had something. He brought in Brian Hoyer and wasted all of our times with that dude and wouldn't draft a quarterback because he was too busy dick riding Kirk Cousins. There are things that you do that show facts. Like that's you can't do anything. You can't tell me that you develop a quarterback because you can't. If that was the case, CJ Beathard would have worked out. But it took us 9 games for us to get CJ Beathard in the game in the first place. And then he got us our first win that year in 2017. So I can't sit there and, say that that's what's going on. But if Kruger is saying those things, that's fine. Brandon Allie is 6 for 6. You know what? No one cares. You're irrelevant. You'll be on the practice squad, sir. Exactly. You have no business on the active roster.
Exactly. So CMC, they were saying, stood out. They said he looked as energized as he's ever looked in a practice. So that's good for him to be the catalyst in camp. The guys, the first guy to bring this to my attention was Raj from RSF 49ers because he saw Spencer Burford in person at that softball game that the 49ers versus the police department or something like that. And he said Spencer Burford was just looking hella yoked, and Kruger was saying that not only does he look bigger, but he looks faster and more explosive. So Nick Zakel is looking out there. So the interior offensive line looks like it has some depth, really, really strong depth. I don't know if Burford could possibly play on the outside, but what do you think about the O-line so far?
So far, to be honest with you, I mean, the only spot we really have a question mark at is honestly right tackle. Mm-hmm. Because technically speaking, the rest of the line is solidified. You already have the silverback. You got Aaron Banks. You got Jake Brendel, and you have Spencer Burford. Figure out that right tackle spot, and you can call it a day. There isn't much to go on for the O-line, and my thing is I just don't want them shuffling that O-line consistently in front of these quarterbacks because that O-line won't gel.
Well, remember they kept shuffling Brunskill and Burford last year. Now Brunskill's gone, so hopefully Burford is just like, hey, this is my position, and it looks like he's putting the work.
And he deserves it too because he went out there and balled. He took the spot. I know part of the reason that he started was because Dan Brunskill was hurt, and the only reason that Brunskill even stayed last year is because he's a low-key Swiss Army knife on the offensive line. He can play every position. He sucks at center. We all know that, but he can play left guard, left tackle, right tackle. He can do that much.
Randy Daytona calls him Bad Brunny, and he's an all-pro when he plays against Aaron Donald. When he plays against Aaron Donald, he's an all-pro.
Hey, man, I don't care what nobody says. AD has no answer for that man. So I don't know what to tell you, but he doesn't have an answer for him. And when you can shut down a player of AD's caliber, oh yeah, you hang your hat on that one. Believe me, I could never win a Super Bowl, and somebody would be looking at me and be like, "Damn, what'd you do in the NFL?" Oh, I shut down Aaron Donald every time I faced him. He became irrelevant when I was around. Just so you know. And if you don't believe me, go look at the tape.
And they say the year 2 guys, year 2 is where certain players make their biggest jump in the career. The biggest buzz I've been hearing all across the board, regardless of who's reporting. Drake Jackson, they say, is looking buffer, huge upper body, but even more explosive. He was flying off the edge, probably added about 12 pounds of muscle, and he might be ready to break out. So,
yeah, I've heard that too, man. So, you got to think about it. The defensive line too, that's got to be solidified. If you can have Jackson and Bosa on the end, and then Hargrave and Armstead in the middle, I think that's a very formidable bunch. Hopefully, Drake Jackson's conditioning has got better, so he can be able to be out there on the field, down in and down out. Please do not mention Kinlaw to me. I have no faith that man is ever going to pan.
They said he's in really good shape, but looks lighter and leaner, and that just means he's going to be getting pushed back even more.
And my thing is I don't have any faith that the man can hold up from a health standpoint, and that's my biggest problem. It's just you have to be available. The best ability is availability, and if you ain't got that, then you don't need to be here. Kinlaw is here because we don't feel like paying another player that ain't doing shit for us. That's the reason he's here. You know why? Because his contract is guaranteed. So why are we going to therefore throw him out to the streets to just stand around and get paid for free when we can just go ahead and pay him and keep him here and make him a rotational piece? Because he ain't starting over Javon. That's not going to happen.
No.
He'll rotate.
If anything, on rundown, who knows? Maybe we see Kalia Davis in there and getting some of Kinlaw's minutes. Because Kalia Davis, from what I hear, looked pretty good today. He's a former linebacker. He's a former linebacker, but he weighs 300 pounds, kind of like a DJ Johnson type prospect. So who knows if we see him? I want to bring this guy up because I know he didn't
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up the other guys who did good in OTAs from what I've been hearing, but I know you have I guess you have somewhat of a connection to him, or you've been following him a lot. Was Ji'Ayir Pearson the guy who was looked pretty good at one of our OTAs and he tore it up in XFL?
Chill. That's my dog. I love that guy, man.
So were you following his social media at one point, or because you had a lot to say about him?
Okay, so a lot of people don't know about this guy, and I have no idea how because he has millions of followers. His name is Destroying. Destroying was a kicker at UCF, University of Central Florida. He wound up having to give up his college scholarship because he did YouTube, and I think he got paid less than $1 for a video. And the NCAA basically came in and told him, you either have to donate that money and give up your channel or play football. Like they basically kind of screwed him over. Now you got NIL deals, all of this other stuff. But that's besides the point. So Destroying has his channel, and he always, at first his channel was strictly based on him being a kicker. He would show you how
I remember this.
He could show you how to kick. He did all of that. And I'm telling bro, to be honest with you, I have no idea how he didn't get signed anywhere. I don't know how you can have that big of a social media presence and teams don't want to bring you in for a tryout. The man can kick and punt. You got a double. You have a duo. You don't have to sign a punter because he can do both. So I never understood why the young man never got signed to an NFL deal. Now, where he's at right now, from a financial standpoint and with his YouTube, he can give two fucks about that, I'm pretty sure. But either way, I saw Ji'Ayir Pearson on his channel on a consistent basis when he ran his one-on-ones. And as Destroy's following got bigger, so did Jay Peasy's. And when I would see Jay Peasy out there, he would be barbecue baking these fools on a consistent basis. These DBs had nothing for him. He worked everybody. So when he went to the XFL and did what he did, that was not a surprise to me. A lot of people were late, but I wasn't surprised. Why? Hey, what's going on, Niner Sickness? Orale vato.
Niner Sickness. What's up, dude? How you doing?
But that's YouTube basically channel. What it
also,
is,
Andy
man.
Land. Shout out to Andy. What's up, bro?
Andy, what's going on, man? But that basically, I saw JPZ a long time ago. So when he cooked that DB, that didn't impress me because I've seen it a million times.
Yeah, a smaller size dude. I guess Shannon, maybe he has some faith in Danny Gray. I'm assuming, and he doesn't want to have a smaller guy who he thinks who probably won't be able to block properly. I don't know. It would have been nice to keep him around. It would have been nice to see him.
5'9", 180. That's his size. 5'9", 180. Let me explain something to you. The young man probably could block very well. You just got to teach him. That's all. And yeah, you drafted Danny Gray, but hey, some people don't wind up making it as far as being a drafted guy. Some people are better off undrafted. But either way, man, shout out JPZ. Continue to do your thing, and I hope that you get signed to an NFL deal somewhere. If not, the XFL is definitely still your home, and it's still an open door for you. But the other thing I will say
is you'll find a home.
I hope so. I will say this. I'm happy that Kalia Davis is getting some good reviews, and he better because we wasted a draft pick just letting him sit. And I don't understand what the hell John Lynch's problem is and why he does shit like that. But every now and then he decides that somebody is worthy of being picked. But
we act like we're Alabama.
We ain't that. This ain't we ain't that deep. And what the college squads are like 100 deep.
Yep.
Like you can't do, bro. We got 46 open spots. We have a full 53-man roster, but we got 46 open spots. So you can't just be picking up dudes and hiding them on the practice squad and saying they're gonna turn out to be this, that, and the third. And we don't get to see anything out of them. I'm sorry. If I'm drafting and I'm a GM, I'm drafting someone who is actually going to produce for me.
I 100% agree. Let's go through the rundown really quick of other guys who stood out.
Sure.
The first OTA. So we're talking about wide receivers really quick. Ronnie Bell, they just, from what I hear, is that the hands are looking really, really good. Special ball skills. Not necessarily Bill, almost like a little bit bigger than Ev Pettis, but he's looking like he's willing to make the catch. Isaiah Oliver, from what I heard, looked impressive. Not a surprise. I liked what he did in Atlanta. The cornerback I really wanted to talk about because I've been hearing a lot of good stuff from those guys who were at the camp. I was talking about Kruger and Cohen, those Matt Barrows and Mayoko. It sounds like it's a potential camp battle that's going to be brewing versus Darrell Luter Jr. and Diamador Lenore. It sounds like he's looking better and better every time they see him. So they say he looks mature for a rookie. He not only has long arms, but he looks like he's built and he's strong, and he does not look like he gets phased. So that sounds like a player that you got to watch out for, and he may try to be a starter. So who knows?
I'm with that, man. I'm all for competition. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we know Mooney is solidified. We know Demo did a fantastic job last year, playing and doing what he did. The guy that you got to worry about is Ambry Thomas because nobody knows where he is. We got to put an APV out for him, figure out what happened because right now he got buried on that depth chart because you got Luter. You still have Isaiah Oliver. You still have Sam Womack.
Who's the Mac?
Yeah, we got some good DB. So if Luter is out there doing what he's doing, then by all means continue to do what you do, young man, and push for that spot, man. The way the Niners work is you go out there, you show your work ethic, and you look better than what we currently have. And shit, whatever we currently have, we'll go to the bench because that's what they did to Jimmy Ward. They told Jimmy, you want to play nickel, sit on the bench. Those are your
Exactly.
options.
And I want to say shout out to my boy Dan Castillo, long time no see. Says, what's up, Bash? What's up, Niner gang, and all my Niner fan out there.
Another one. I appreciate you.
Dan, I gotta throw those little nuggets in there now.
Awesome, man. That's awesome, bro. Shout out, Real Talk Niner Talk, man. You know what I'm saying? For the inspiration of the soundboard and whatnot.
Oh yeah. I grew up listening to talk radio and all that crazy stuff, and they're always doing little funny things with soundboards and.
Oh man, it's an awesome thing. I never did it because I don't, it's just not my thing. But believe you me, man. Hey, yeah, if I ever do decide to get into one, man, that'd be something that
I've always been about the comic relief. I'm a former stand-up comedian. It's just if I ever have a goofy comment or a goofy impersonation, and that's on the tip of my tongue, I'm always blurting it out. I don't care, and I just think that laughter is the best medicine. You just have to let loose.
Laughter is great for the soul. That's the whole point of it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you wake up in the morning, you usually want to start your day with a laugh.
Yes, sir. Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Hey, look, boy, I don't know about feeling like him. That's a weird cat, man.
It's a song, man. You probably know.
It's a song, but that's a whole weird ass dude. he off the chain, bro. There's a lot of question marks.
But you mentioned Ambry. I heard he's not doing too well in camp. OTAs early on. Really quick, I was going to cover the tight ends, but before we get to tight ends, and you mentioned something about kickers and kicking, and if you saw me on Benito's thing, I wasn't happy with my live reaction when we got Moody. I wanted to go for O-line or go for pass rush or go for a positional type player, but we've got Zane Gonzalez and Moody kicking back and forth. I'm not sure if you read up on them, but do you have any thoughts about the whole kicker? And and they implemented a fucking kicking rule, a 25-yard fair catch rule, which sounds ridiculous, but
yeah, pretty much they're basically almost all but eliminating the kickoff. The further you move that ball close, like the closer you move that ball, the further up you move that ball, the harder it's going to be for anyone to even catch and do a kick return. So the days of Devin Hester are dead. And I'm not saying that's not any disrespect to Devin Hester.
That is the thing of beauty is the kickoff return.
That young man, bro, you ain't never seen nothing like it. That literally was a dude that you were you didn't want to kick the ball to him at all. Your punter, probably before playing Devin Hester, your punter was probably practicing as many coffin corner kicks as he could get. Because that young man had vision like nobody else. And
if Hester had played with a real coach that knew offense, like a Kyle Shanahan or an Andy Reid, they would have found a way to use it. And they did use him on offense on the Bears. I get it. But with a real offensive-minded coach, dude, Hester probably would have been borderline Pro Bowl on some other team.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, man. But, for me, when it comes to the kickers, I know we drafted Jake Moody a little high, but we did the same thing with Mitch. So it didn't really bother me. I was just a little confused because we had traded for Zane Gonzalez. So I was like, well, why would we do that and then draft a kicker? So I get the competition, but it's not adding up. But hey, man, hopefully Moody pans out and does what he needs to do. He's a young talent, and he seemed to be the best kicker in the draft. So I'm not mad at it.
And some Niner fans are saying he was the best player available. So so we'll see about that one. Let's see what up. Javi says, me either. Also felt confused, but I'm over it. Oh, with the reaction to the draft of Moody. Yeah. There was a lot of mixed reviews on that one. Some people were hyping up Moody before we even got him. Certain Niner fans want us to get him, and lo and behold, we got him. I just didn't want to do it so early if we were going to get him, but whatever. We can't control our picks, so that we got to live with it. So that's pretty much that kicker part. There was about the tight ends. Do you have any because they were saying Braden Willis is looking pretty good, and do you have any expectations from Braden Willis or thoughts about Cameron Latou early on?
I can tell you right now, Charlie Warner and Ross Dwelly are in trouble.
Yeah.
Because the thing is as a player in the NFL, your life is short-lived automatically. The average lifespan of an NFL player in general is what, 2-3 years tops, if that. So you bring in Latou, you bring in Willis. I've seen what Willis can do. Like him. Latou, I'm a little iffy on only because he was a converted linebacker and then turned into a tight end. So, he's probably a better blocker than he is pass catcher, but they like him in the red zone, and that's what he brings to the table. So, for me, I'd go with Braden Willis, and hopefully, because he can play, he can play tight end and he can play fullback.
And John Lynch, what's up, John Lynch? He said something. John Lynch has brought up he used to say it's about McKivitz, how when we drafted McKivitz, they gave McKivitz the golden helmet, and that's something that the Niners do when they covet a certain prospect. And Braden Willis is a golden helmet guy now. I just never is it a different helmet that they give them in practice? I haven't seen what the damn thing looks like, but I heard right off the bat, Braden Willis is looking the part. So we'll see. Hopefully, him and the two bring us something to the table. When I watch the two, I see a bigger body. Doesn't look nothing about it really is eye catching, but from what I've been hearing and what I see a little bit is that he's good at high pointing the ball, and he in those 50-50 ball type situations. We don't have anybody that really does it. Not even Kittle does that, to be honest with you. But it looks like he could possibly be a guy to do that. So,
yeah, definitely so, man. I just hope that there's a tight end that will be able to stand up and stand out in a good way. Just basically to be able to supplement for whenever George Kittle goes down, because he does get injured throughout the year. So we can have a guy that comes in and we don't miss a beat, and nothing stops with our blocking and our running game, and we should be perfectly fine. Kyle, you gotta remember that George Kittle is getting paid a lot of money. So stop using them as a blocker and start using them as a pass catcher.
Yeah. And this is a nugget from the real John Lynch, our general manager, says it's a sticker on the draft board, Bash, not a real helmet. Thank you for clarifying. Because I've heard you talk about this over the past year or so, like this golden helmet thing, and I was like, what the hell is this golden helmet? It just cracks me up, man. It's a sticker on the draft board. That's hilarious. Sounds like you're in the draft room there, buddy. We're about to wrap things up. Let's see if I'm just going to go through my notes really quick, just in case I didn't miss anything. Really, really quick. I've been hearing now. I was excited and hella pumped about D Winters. It's still super, super early. Supposedly showed up doesn't look as fast in practices as he does in the games. Maybe he's just a crazy gamer and gets way hyped up for the games than he does for practice. And I get it. There's practice players and there's gamers. But supposedly right off the bat, Jalen Graham is looking super athletic and instinctive and looking better than people were expecting.
Yeah, and he's breaking my heart because I have a lot of faith in D. Winters. I sat back and watched film on the dude, and when he plays, he is a monster. But, yeah, you can't come into camp out of shape, chilling, not really doing much. You have to be when you're in OTAs and you get to training camp, you got to be ready. And those coaches are going to know whether you are or are not ready. And I was really banking on D. Winters coming in, shitting on Jalen Graham, and taking that spot opposite Warner and Greenlaw. But I mean, hey, if you're good, if you come in and you look like that, they'll notice that. So they're gonna look and go, okay, well, when we start to rev it up, is he gonna actually be able to keep up?
And they said Marcelino McCurry Ball is looking
They
great,
say he looks good.
excellent shape. So it's like, bro, you're on notice. Like, you better,
There's
cut
not a lot of space.
In-N-Out burger or whatever fast food you've been munching down on, and get serious about it. Randy's got a question. We're gonna close up pretty soon, but let's answer this question. You can go ahead and answer all these questions. Who's starting the slot? Who was linebacker number 3, and who's returning kicks and punts? Okay, go ahead if you want to. I mean, if the slot's pretty obvious, I think Isaiah Oliver.
Yeah, I have to say it's Isaiah Oliver. He's probably the front runner, but remember we have Steve Wilkes. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not giving up faith on Sam Womack.
Who's the Mac?
I am not giving up faith on him. He could go in there and take that spot. I think Wilkes coach him up properly and see what he can get out of him. He's a smaller defensive back, but he just his instincts and his football knowledge are just off the fucking charts. So I'm hoping Sam Womack is the guy, but I gotta agree with Bashar on that one. Probably Isaiah Oliver. Linebacker number 3, that's what we were just talking about right now. At this point, it's going to be between if Dee Winters doesn't get himself in shape and come into the next phase of OTAs looking good, along with going into training camp looking good, it's probably going to be either Marcelino McCrary Ball or Jalen Graham.
Not Demetrius Flanagan foul. Shout out to 49er Media, not him. DFF.
Worthless. So that's one name I don't want to hear because he does nothing. And I'm sorry, Oren Burks is a special teams player. He is not a starter. So please, people, don't get hopes up about him. He ain't no damn body. Now, whoever is returning kicks and punts, that's a question mark. We still have Ray, but ain't nobody gonna be returning kicks next year, so we can forget that.
The UDFA from Texas, Deshaun Jameson. He's pretty decent as a cornerback, a little undersized, kind of gave him some big plays, but then again, he has excellent ball skills and can make plays and get pick sixes, kind of like a gambler. He is a dope returner. He's badass as a returner. If they were to keep him on the squad some way, somehow, I'd rather have him returning over Ray.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not tripping, as far as whoever does the punt returns, but there's just nothing that's going to happen with kickoffs because of what they're doing. At this point, they might eliminate it altogether. If you keep moving and advancing the ball forward, it's not going to help anything. So, the only one that we can't really answer who's going to return kicks and punts because we just have to see. But linebacker 3, I had to go probably McCrary Ball or Jalen Graham.
And Dee Winters when I was on live with Jess and Beto on Niners Sickness channel on the draft, the Dee Winters pick was the pick I was most excited for out of any of the picks.
Me too.
So, and I had talked on my mock draft show on one of the shows. We were playing his highlights and talking about him. We picked him on 2 of the mock drafts, I believe. So we'll see how he pans out. Oh, Laura's here. She's fine. We're about to close it up, Laura. You're kind of late, but it's all good. Anyone remember the original way you decided to kick off an XFL? Oh, when they first
I don't remember the original.
I know they had weird rules in the original XFL. They had some funky rules.
Yeah, that was when Vince McMahon was running things.
Vince McMahon. I still got to get my wrestling show back on track, man. I did one episode with Lawrence, and Lawrence has got a busy life, and we're trying to get back at that. But that my old school wrestling show. If you're an old school wrestling guy, Dion, if we do some episodes in the future, if you feel like,
you definitely let me know, man. I love it, man. My favorite wrestler is Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll have you on the Ultimate Warrior episode because I want to do Ultimate Warrior episode.
Been, man.
Really? Okay. And you live in Arizona. That's where he lived for quite some time. So
people didn't know. He started out as the Dingo Warrior.
Oh, I remember him as a Dingo Warrior before. I remember that. I was watching it back then.
There's so many different things about him that people didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But it just, things happen. And God rest his soul. He's gone. But there was no energy like the energy that he brought when he
shook those ropes
down to the ring. He would shake the ropes. Like, you talk about getting a crowd hype. When you heard his music, you already knew he was running. You never saw him walk. Yeah. So whenever you do a wrestling show, I'm all for it, man.
I'm definitely bringing it back. I made a sick intro.
I remember the old dudes too.
What's that?
I remember the old school cats too. You know what I'm saying? I think we just lost. Who did we lose? Why does his name escape me? Shit. I can't remember his name. Now I gotta look him up. I can't.
What type of wrestler was he? Just remembering how what was his character like?
He was pretty good. I can't remember.
Okay, you can look it up. Go ahead. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you to all the guys in chat. See how active you are. Laura's here, Randy Daytona's here, John V's here. Gonna give you guys a little Niner Sickness podcast. That's Beto, Andy Land. Went to high school with this guy, actually, really cool dude. One of my memories of this guy before you find the name is we play football PE, and it was a few days after Michael Carter had a pick six. Michael Carter was a huge, chunky nose tackle for the 49ers. He had a pick six in the game against the Redskins in the 1991 playoffs, and we were imitating how he was running, and he was imitating it too. And now it's actually a memory that really stuck in my mind for my freshman year of high school. So, did you find the name of who died?
No, man, but I literally found a list of wrestlers who unfortunately
okay.
passed. So we lost one of the Bushwhackers.
Butch Miller. I love the Bushwhackers.
Yeah,
dude.
we lost him. It was, what was his name? It was like Pretty something. He was like Big Papa Pump before Big Papa Pump.
Oh, Superstar Billy Graham.
Yes, there you go.
Oh, I love Superstar. Rest in peace,
Superstar Billy Graham. We just lost him.
Yes. Okay. Hang on. We got a request here. Okay, let me see what we can do. Give me a second. Because we got a request for a birthday shout out. I'm gonna We're gonna make it special.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't want to make it too cheesy. Just a second. I got something playing in my ear and I gotta stop it. There you go.
Hey, there you go, man.
Oh, you want to hear this one?
Hey. Oh yeah, man! Come on, who don't know the Stevie Wonder happy birthday? Come on now, you know what I'm saying? That was common in the black household.
So Randy says, no, sorry, it's for Dan. What's up, Dan? Dan says, can I get a birthday shout out to my wife Debbie? Happy birthday, Debbie!
Yes, happy birthday.
She watches the games with me. Thanks, bro. Oh yeah, his wife. He always talks about how his wife believes his wife's Vietnamese or Cambodian. I forgot which one, but says his wife makes all these Asian foods and they sell it and he sells it to the coworkers, and then he's always telling me about how his wife's like a great cook. And I
ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it at all. Look, Dan, if I get out to a game, bro, bring something. I'm game, bro. Long as it ain't pork. I just don't eat pork. So if you bring anything outside of pork, I'm down to try it, man. You know what I'm saying?
We pretty much, thank you, Dan. We appreciate that. Hey, anytime anybody wants a shout out like that, just let me know and we'll take care of you on the 49er Minded Show. Pretty much covered a lot of the important things in camp. If there's anything Niner-wise that I didn't bring up or anything you want to touch on in regards to your channel before we get going with the show, just go ahead. The floor is yours.
No. Oh, yeah, Randy. I don't do pork at all, sir. None of it. Don't eat the meat at all, period. It's just been, I've been that way for, I can't even remember last time I actually ate it. That's literally how long it's been. It's been a very, very long time. There's nothing else that I wanted to bring up. I'll just say this for us to end the show. Give Lance a chance. That's going to be my new thing. Give Lance a chance.
Hashtag give Lance a chance.
Give Lance a chance. That's all we want is an open competition between him and Brock so that we can crown a winner. And even if he loses, that's fine. But I just want the competition to be fair. I don't want it to be a situation where Kyle's like, oh, yeah, we're going to give him a chance. And then Lance getting 20% of the snaps, but Brock got 80. That ain't going to make no sense.
I'm 100% with you. And, competition brings out the best in players. Iron sharpens iron. So we want to see it happen. Now, if you guys are not subscribed to Niner Gang Podcast on YouTube, hit the description box of this video. You can follow Dion on YouTube, subscribe to his channel. I know you took a little break because you've been busy in the off season, but hopefully you're back on your channel and busy.
Oh, next week I'm about to go ape shit, man. I've got a ton of content coming. It's been a while since I've done, enough on my channel. It's just like I said, man. I had like 2 months, man, where I worked so much I didn't even think about doing a podcast. like I was out there grinding so hard that it just was too much, man. Hey, you are more than welcome. Hope you and your wife have a beautiful day, and hopefully you got something nice planned for her, and y'all had y'all end y'all night with a little That's the only way to end your birthday night, baby. You gotta end your birthday night.
What's up, David? David from Real Talk Diary Talk. Sorry, David. We're about to wrap up the show, but good to have you.
Nothing but love to you, Super Dave, man. So, hey, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this, and he gonna say this to everybody else, but I know Real Talk, and they family to me. Dave is the only one who's ever fucking available. Dave be the only one.
For what? Available for what, though?
Available for a show. If I hit Dave up, Dave would make time.
Dave's been on here before. Oh, yeah.
I can tell you right now, Don's hard to get, but Don works his ass off. So that's why he's always busy. Silverado Kev, he will make it when he can, but Silverado Kev, I believe as recently as last year, got a fantastic fucking promotion. So he grinding his ass off. You know what I'm saying? You got to get, you got to work with you. Will, same way. Will work like a motherfucker. Like, I mean, consistently. We'll be doing a show with you, and he cut his camera off and go to work. He come back and make a point.
Yeah, I seen
that. Shout out Super Dave, the OG, man.
And Debbie says, so my second guess was right. She is Cambodian. She says papaya salad, egg rolls, beef sticks, lemongrass, and stir fry. Had a lot of Asian food. Never had anything straight from Cambodia, but I can try everything. I'm Middle Eastern, and I love all kinds of food.
You know what? I'll try anything once. You know what I'm saying? And from what he just said right there, I'm game. You know what I'm saying? They look, man. And if anybody out there, if you go to the Arizona game this year, I will be there. Probably gonna be hanging out with the 49ers Rush crew because Chapman and Breezy will be out this way.
And Breezy.
Yep. And I mean, shit, bro. All I got to do is wake up and drive about 20 minutes to the stadium. This ain't nothing to me.
Yeah, you're over in Arizona. I need to go to a damn away game. Maybe if Arizona's in the cards.
Arizona's probably the easiest one for you because you in Cali, so it's close.
Well, and I have my cousins that live out there, so a free place to stay.
Get your butt, man, Bash. You better get up out of here, man.
I know.
Come on out of here, bro.
I need to go.
And I have not personally met him, but Smitty is a real good dude.
Okay, I seen Smitty. The guy hops in the chats. You mean
Yeah, Smitty.
Yeah, I don't know. I just seen him in the chats recently, but I barely know the guy.
Nah, Smitty's awesome, man, and his fantasy football content is crazy. Like he really digs in. Like that dude has a crazy knowledge of how to work that shit. But there it is. Yeah.
I know you're talking about the Arizona Cardinal fans.
Yeah,
I had him on before. Duh.
Yeah,
I was thinking about
there's two
Smitties. Cool. There's two Smitties. Oh, Smitty's hella cool.
That's the one I'm talking about from
fantasy football podcast. Yeah.
Fantasy football. Yeah.
Yeah. Smitty's awesome.
I haven't met him in person, but Smitty is
yeah.
Super
I need to bring him back on because I'm curious what his thoughts are. He was backing up Trey Lance huge, and he's a damn Arizona Cardinals fan. But then again, he's also fantasy football, so he has two brains when it comes to football. Mm-hmm. Smitty from Fantasy Football Podcast. Check him out. Fantasy Football Show, Smitty. I was thinking about this other Niner guy that hops in the chats named Smitty too, and that was the one who his actual chat name says Smitty. So I was thinking about him. I was like, well, I've been seeing him in the chats, but I don't know him. But yeah, Fantasy Football Show, Smitty. Yes, of course I know him. Duh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he actually did a Trey Lance rap. I don't know if you remember that.
I do not, but I definitely got to check it out now.
When I had him on my show, we played it, and it's like him doing this weird rap where he's like imitating the guy from Breaking Bad or whatever. And I was never into Breaking Bad, and he's like, I'm surprised you like that song so much because you never really watched Breaking Bad. I was like, I know.
I kid you not, I've watched like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of that show, never got into it.
And one of my friends was a returning actor on Breaking Bad, but I still was never into it. Not that I don't like it, I just never got into it, but I just don't really watch TV shows and series all that much, I just watch random stuff. All right, guys, I apologize for those that came in late, Dave and Laura and all you guys. But if you guys were here for the beginning, I really appreciate you. If you came late, you can always hit the rewind button. What we covered a lot of night. We actually give a shout out to Tina Turner earlier. Well,
Yep.
R.I.P. Tina Turner. We did that. A moment of silence for her great musical career and everything she did. And just talked, a lot. Well, obviously, we talked to quarterbacks, talked about OTAs, who's coming up and who's looking good. But other than that, just subscribe to Dion Niner Game Podcast. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. Keep watching the 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. Keep repping those Niners and stay 49er minded. Peace. Let's go.
Peace.
Let's do this. Give Lance a chance, right? Hey. Come on, 49er fans, let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.